Hi everyone, JC here. Um, I haven't talked about it in depth on my channel because I was still processing it and sort of dealing with it and living with it. So I wasn't really ready to talk about it. But yesterday, a doctor changed my life. And so now I'm ready to talk about it. So in January of this year, in January of 2019, I went for my normal eye checkup. I have astigmatism and I'm like nearsighted in one eye and farsighted in the other eye. I've been wearing glasses since I was like 4 or 5. I can't even remember when I got them. So every like 2 years I go for a regular checkup to see if my prescription has changed. And over the past little while, like over the past couple of years, I've been noticing a significant change in my eyes. They just sort of kept telling me, oh, you're fatigued, or you have dry eye, oh, it might be your thyroid, or it's because you had children. Like I've heard everything, right? But I knew something was wrong with my eyes. So I go in and I do my regular eye testing, and there's a test where you put your head into like this, almost looks like binoculars, like that, but it faces down into a screen and it's a dark room and all that. And you're supposed to click a button every single time a light flashes. But this one wasn't the light flashing. This one was like squiggly lines, I think, or something was like squiggling. And I was just talking to one of the ladies, and I was just, clicking whenever I saw the squiggly lines. And then she prints out the results and goes like this. I'm gonna be right back. Just give me a minute. And she stands up and leaves with her piece of paper. That was a little odd. Then she comes back and goes, okay, JC, we're going to do that test again. And this time, no talking. I really want you to concentrate and click anytime you see a squiggly line or whatever. And I said, okay, fine. So then I did the test again, and the results were identical. And she goes, all right, yep, the doctor will be with you soon. So I just go, oh, okay, maybe like, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to know. So I go in to see my eye doctor, and he looks at my results, and he goes, JC, can you close, your right eye for me? So I close my right eye. Take your glasses off. Took my glasses off. And put his hand up, or like put something up, and goes, can you see this? And I go, can I see what? And he goes, okay, I need to order more testing for you. We're going to do an ultrasound of the eye and all this jazz. So, I waited. I still didn't know quite what was going on. I waited and waited in the waiting room. And I got the ultrasound of the eye, which is like this crazy machine where I call it crazy. It's not crazy. It's not painful. It's not scary. It's not anything. But you like put your head on the chin rest, right? Put your forehead against the thing. And you look at a circle or a cross or a dot or something. And they go, okay, counting to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And during that time, you'll see like a red line come down, and the computer is taking in a scan of your eye. And so that happened, and then he gets those results, and again, he calls me into his office and goes, okay, JC, we have a bit of a problem. And I go, okay, what's the problem? And he goes, well, your field of vision test, which is the first test I talked about, with the squiggly lines and the dots, is very poor. And your field of vision is shrinking, and it appears you have an area in your vision in your left eye where you can't see anything. You're not seeing anything there. And I go, oh, okay. And then he starts to ask me some questions like, are you having trouble reading? Are you having trouble? And yeah. And he goes, now here's the problem, JC. Your eye is healthy. There's nothing wrong with your eye. There's nothing wrong. You haven't had a stroke in the eye, because my husband had a stroke in the eye a couple years ago. You haven't had a stroke in your eye. You don't have any debris in your eye. You've never had an eye injury, like no glass, no shards. You've never been in a car accident. And your prescription is perfect. So where is the problem coming from? Why is your field of vision going, but your eye is healthy? He goes, JC, wherever it is, it's two possibilities, okay? Either there's a tumor on the optic nerve pathway, like behind the eye that we can't see, or a growth or something pushing on it, or there's a problem in your brain. And I said to him, okay, he's like, I got a couple more tests to do, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. And I said, doctor, if these tests that you're going to do come back negative, meaning that you don't find anything, am I in trouble? And he just sort of goes, yeah, we're in trouble. Okay, so fast forward to, past all the other doctors that I saw. I saw an ophthalmologist, very eccentric guy, love him, super fun. And he did some other testing on me and discovered that I had there's a nerve problem with my left eye. There's definitely a nerve problem, therefore it's the pathway between the eye and the brain. So then I had to be put on a waiting list to see what's called a neuro-ophthalmologist, which is somebody who specializes in the pathway between the brain and the eye. And where I'm from, there's only like one in the whole country. And people fly from all over the country to see him. And I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to fly to go? No, he was actually like, an hour away from me. So it wasn't that big a deal. So then I had to go to a special hospital to get special blood work done, to get another MRI. By this time, I'd already had 2 MRIs. And yeah, they saw the nerve damage. They could see the nerve damage in my left eye pathway and starting in my right eye pathway. So then began my journey of, okay, I'm going blind. And we don't really know why or what's caused it, what's causing it. I began to have other symptoms of, falling down stairs and tripping over curves and not being able to see the ground when I walk. Like there's like just a black hole when I walk, and then the sensation of falling forward when you walk because your vision's off. And so that began my journey with like walking with a, what's it called? Walking with a stick for help, the red and white stick for the visually impaired. I had visually impaired social workers and home workers in my house to sort of help me maneuver around. Like it was this whole thing, right? I'm going through this journey. I'm going blind, So I'm like, okay. Then I saw this specialist and he says, okay, what I think it is I think it's this disease, which is something that's related to MS, but it only attacks the optic nerve and then eventually will attack the central nervous system. So the reason why I'm making this video is not for anyone to feel sad or anything, because I'm actually overjoyed. Yesterday, when he got the results back of all the blood tests I've done and the 3rd MRI I did, he looks at me and goes, JC, you do not have a disease. And it appears, based on the testing that he did on me yesterday and what I was telling them, that my optic nerve damage has slowed or stopped, that my eyes are actually improving and getting better. Sorry. For a long time, I just thought my vision was going to go black and I was going to see nothing for the rest of my life. He said that, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. For a follow-up, but as far as we can tell, nothing's caused this. Like, they didn't see any evidence of a stroke or a tumor or a hernia or a cyst, because I do have cysts in my brain, but not anything that's pushing on that. And he said, I'm going to be all right. And so I'm making this video mostly as like a personal kind of journal, so I can remember what this feels like. Maybe as a helpful thing for others, that not just about your vision, but anything, you discover a lump or a bump or something abnormal in your body, and you've been told by medical professionals or a doctor that it's it's not looking good. And then you get that one test result back, and they tell you you're going to be okay. There isn't really anything quite like that in the world. There's always hope, even when the situation seems completely hopeless. And I wanted to thank everybody who thought about me, prayed for me, prayed over me, prayed with me, prayed for my family and my stress level and my healing. And because when you're in a place of darkness and you're desperate, the thought of others thinking about you, praying for you, sending you positive thoughts is, you don't really think about it when you're going through the disaster, but afterward, it can be quite humbling to know, wow, while I was going through that, others took time out of their day and their lives to think about me. You know, I've got a couple more videos to make about my gastric bypass journey. So, you know, we're going to go all through this together. And hopefully this helps somebody else.